Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'll call to order the business meeting for the Faribault Public Schools School Board here on August 18th, 2025. We welcome all of you who are in attendance here at District Office and those of you who are watching online. At this time, Director Steves, is there a quorum present?
Yes, Mr. Chair, there is.
Thank you. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2 is approval of agenda. Is there a motion for approval of the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Director Boudreau. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Steves. Any discussion? Any discussion? Discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Agenda item number 3 is recognition, awards, and presentations. First, I'm going to deviate from the agenda for just a little bit first. First of all, I'd like to recognize our new student board representative over here, Ms. Amira Williams. Amira is going to be, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit, but a junior at the high school. And if you have followed the high school, you know that she's an outstanding student as well as a 3-sport athlete and a tremendous, I'm going to say, bass player in the orchestra. Did I get that right? I always want to say cello, but bass player like that. So if you just want to say a couple words about yourself, Amira, that you don't have to give the school report now, but just a little intro about yourself, and we'll go from there.
So my name's Amira. I'm a junior at Faribault High School. I've been in the district since kindergarten. I've been a part of orchestra since 4th grade. I play the bass. I have also been a part of student council since 4th grade, and I'm now the secretary at Faribault High School. Other clubs I've been a part of have been Honor Society, District Youth Council, DECA, Faith Club, and that's all while attending the high school. I have also been a part of 4 varsity sports since 7th grade: girls basketball, volleyball, softball, and now swimming. This coming season will be my 2nd year as captain for the girls basketball team. While at the high school, I've always had 7 periods in person, so if any of you guys have questions about what it's like day to day, feel free to reach out. My mom also works in the district. She's a 5th grade teacher at Lincoln, and I have siblings at FMS and Lincoln Elementary. I would love to set up a time to speak with each and every one of you individually, just to get to know you better and if you have any questions or concerns. But then other than that, thank you for your time, and I just want to know I'm going to give it my all.
Thank you, Amira. Excellent. Next, we'll move on to agenda item 3A, recognition for No Tummies Left Behind, Ms. Ella Bettner. So if you'd like to come up to the table, please, here first. And welcome once again. Thank you. So I'll give you a little intro here. It is with great appreciation that I recognize an outstanding act of generosity within our community. Ella Bettner, through her initiative, No Tummies Left Behind, has generously donated $824.76 to eliminate the negative lunch account balances accrued during the 2024 through 2025 school year. While standard school lunches are now provided at no cost to families, balances can still accumulate when students choose second meals or additional items. Thanks to Ella and the generosity of those who supported her, we were able to alleviate this burden for many families. Her thoughtfulness, compassion, and commitment to helping others represent the very best of our school community, and I want to personally thank her for stepping up in such a meaningful way. On behalf of the entire school board, school district, and community, I extend our heartfelt appreciation to Ella and every donor who made this contribution possible. Your impact is real, and your generosity makes a difference. So, Ella, what would you like to share or say to us tonight?
Well, I'm the founder of No Tummies Left Behind, a charity I started to help fight food insecurities in school. I've been here before to support schools and speak up for students who might be going through tough times, especially when it comes to something as basic and important as food. Even though Minnesota has the free school meals for all bill, which is an amazing step forward, it doesn't cover everything. There are still students who are food insecure and families who might be silently struggling. That's why my work with No Tummies Left Behind isn't done yet. Today I'm proud to donate $824.76 to help pay off negative lunch balances for students in Faribault public schools. But it's not just about the money, it's about sending a message to those kids that someone cares about them, even if they don't know who I am. I started No Tummies Left Behind because I believe students shouldn't have to worry about food. They should be thinking about science, art, sports, not if they can afford a meal. Lastly, I would like to remind other young people that you don't have to wait until you order to make a difference. You just have to notice the problem and care enough to do something about it, no matter how big or small.
Ella, we thank you once again so much. Let's all give her a round of applause, please. And Ella, I'm going to ask you to come up front here, and board members, if you would come around, and we'll take a, Mr. Benti, Amira, come around, we'll take a photo.
Okay, Candace, I just can't see you. Okay, there we go. Okay, ready? 1, 2.
We have one more? You can come on up here. Thanks, Ellen. Davey, are you able to take a copy of that, what Mr. Bellingham read, and make sure the family gets it?
Next agenda item 3B, we have a presentation from the Faribault Area Learning Center, Mr. Jake Hager, our Faribault Area Learning Center Director. And is Ms. Jarvis also going to? Okay. So, good evening, Mr. Hager, and welcome.
Thanks for having me here. And thanks for inviting us to share a little bit about the ALC and some highlights from this year. So, is the clicker working yet? Perfect. So just gonna highlight, 3 or 4 things just from this year. In all honesty, it was a great year. As far as graduation goes, what I love about the ALC and how we get to celebrate with our kids is instead of just having one ceremony at the end of the year, we actually get to have 2 celebrations every year. A lot of times people don't realize about ALC, but we have people graduating all year long. So last summer, we ended up graduating 4 students, and then for our winter celebration, we ended up having 8 more students, and then we finished off with 21. So in the end, it was really a great year getting to celebrate with our students, our families, on getting across that final hurdle. Because in the end, that's what this is about, is really helping our students, bridge the gaps, whether it's on the personal side of things, the academic side of things, to find those successes, to really be able to get to that final goal of graduation and then on to the next steps in their lives. Cool thing, so this summer, we already have 4 more graduates. So we had one student come over from the high school, help them get, just a couple classes in, and then we had 3 more students that really were with us full-time at the ALC. So already celebrating this summer, so. The next thing that I just want to highlight is symposiums. So when I was teaching at the ALC, that's when we started symposiums. And what symposiums are is it's just an opportunity for our teachers to teach different things that they normally wouldn't. It's an opportunity for our students to experience things that they normally wouldn't. And if the students are successful with the symposiums, they're actually able to earn some extra credit. So when we were looking at this, we were trying to figure out what's the best way that we can approach symposiums. Because in the past, we've done it where we just have 1 symposium session in a year. We've done it where we have 2 symposiums, and we're like, slow and steady wins the race. We don't need to jump in. So what we ended up doing is just focusing on 1 session for this year, or for this past year. And so what we end up doing is taking 1 week from the very last week of first semester and the very first week of second semester, and we just sort of pause our regular classes. And the students, they're able to choose what classes they want to participate in, which they'll choose 1 class, will be before lunch for 2.5 hours, and then the second symposium's after lunch for 2.5 hours. So just some opportunities that they had. Our science teacher taught forensics, so most of the classes are elective credit, but if we are able to tie in standards from different classes, then we can actually get them credit for some of the core classes that they need. So forensics was a really cool one, super popular, crime scene investigation. And that's actually me, that's my autopsy on the right-hand side. Abby, our English teacher, got mad and slit my throat with a hockey stick, so. What you don't see in that picture is right next to me is our office manager, Maria Garcia, and she was murdered by our social worker, but her murderer was not found guilty because she pled insanity. So I think she's over in St. Peter right now, I forget. But that's some other ones, financial literacy. What it was truly called is How to Get Out of Your Parents' Basement. That was Abby Bloomquist, our English teacher, and then Josh Mitchell taught sort of a sports-focused class in bracketology. Some other opportunities, tanning and leatherworking, digital storytelling, I like to call it movie making, and then anime and Japanese history, that was taught by our social studies teacher, so any students that were taking that one actually got to get world history credit too. So. The tanning and leatherworking, it was interesting. We actually brought in actual hides from the animals, and the kids it surprised the crap out of me, I'll be honest. And they were actually, scraping off the fat, and they actually truly made, they tanned the hides. So then, on top of that, they made some leather belts and things like that. It was really cool. And last but not least, Made in Minnesota. Sure you don't want to talk about it? Okay. What was really cool about this is, so Jackie called it Made in Minnesota, but I would have liked to call it Made in Faribault, because she did an awesome job of highlighting the history that is in Faribault. I think a lot of times we forget about it, and JB, you were talking about it earlier today to the new staff, all the things that really go on in Faribault and that you can do in Faribault. And so it was almost every day that the kids were out, and we actually took them on different field trips. The left-hand picture, that's in the cathedral, they were ringing the bells. Went to the Alexander Faribault House, toured, what were all the tours?
Courthouse, the history museum, I guess I'm trying to say. We went, did I say courthouse? Yeah. I said that one. Yeah, a few more other.
Woolen Mills.
Woolen Mills, thank you.
So it was really just getting them out to experience different things. So farm animals, Lynn Hershey, she just retired, but actually taking the kids out and working with the animals at her house. lined up some other tours of some other farms in the area, so really making those connections, and then Parenting 101 from Heather Castile. The other thing that I want to highlight, and I've been super proud of, is our collaboration between the ALC and the high school, and really working with each other to try and figure out what opportunities can we create to help get students back on track at the ALC, but even more importantly, or just as importantly, at the high school. And every year we've been coming up with different ideas of how we can go about this. 2 years ago, we started looking at the idea of learning labs. And what we really saw was, we always had the summer school and night credit recovery option, but there's always a lot of barriers in the way for our students to be able to access those opportunities. So we figured out, how can we eliminate all those barriers? Offer a credit recovery or a learning lab during the school day. And as you can see with the numbers, it's been very, very successful. I mean, last year in learning labs, 338 courses were recovered. In summer school, instead of using Edgenuity, we've been really focusing on meeting students where they are. And so if Jake failed US history with a 58%, instead of having them start all over at 0, we're actually looking and starting them at 58%, looking at what didn't they complete, and then, in this instance, Noah Moore, he's a social studies teacher, then he looks at what standards, what have they needed to complete to get to that 60%. So then he's creating new curriculum. So then once they complete that, we get to that 60%, they're able to move on. So instead of just throwing away all the work that they did, because even if you got a 58%, you put in a decent amount of work, we're able to meet them where they truly are. And so night credit recovery obviously went down a little bit just because we were able to get the students into the learning labs. So cool thing that we're always looking at is looking at different volunteer opportunities and work opportunities. And one thing that we were able to add this summer already, is teaming up with Workforce Development, Inc. to create some opportunities with the Summer STEAM program. So we had some students from the high school and from the ALC that were teamed up with them, and then they were actually getting the experience of working with the students at Summer STEAM all summer, getting paid for it, and getting elective credit for that, which I don't think it can get much better. A lot of our students, they always make that argument, well, I could be working and getting paid, why am I here? This is, meeting that need, and they're getting credit towards graduation. I really don't think it gets much better than that. So, there's just a lot of other things that are in the works for looking at what is credit recovery. When we meet with different SAPs at the state level, that's one of the big questions, is what is credit recovery? What can it look like? What opportunities are out there to meet the needs of every student? So, and then the last things that I just wanted to highlight is relationship building and student opportunities. A great thing about the ALC is, if you come out to the ALC, you'll actually see it on the posters that our students make in one of Jackie's classes, is the idea that the ALC is not just a school, it really is a family. And the reason it ends up being like a family is because we do truly get to focus on building relationships with the students first. We can slow things down. And then with building those relationships, we're able to support the social emotional side of things, because we all know if there's issues going on the personal side, until we can fix those things or help support those things, we can't truly have academic success. And through those relationships, we're able to do those things. And then the second part is the student opportunities. And there's always an argument of, or the idea of the achievement gap. And I truly believe it's not an achievement gap, it's an opportunity gap. Our students can achieve just as well as any traditional student, but oftentimes because of life circumstances, we haven't had the opportunities that other students have. And really trying to get different experiences, such as the picture on the right-hand side, that's, took kids to Construct Tomorrow last year. And it's an opportunity just, we were up in Minneapolis for this one. We tried to get to Mankato, but it was full. And it's different trades and different companies that come in and offer exhibits where students can actually go and experience those things. So that's an iron workers union that put that one on, or that was doing that exhibit. But then, so the students were able to see what these different careers might be like, what they entail, things like that. But then also looking at being able to go on different field trips and have those experiences that a lot of our students don't have the opportunity to. I always remember we were driving up to the cities one time, and you see the skyline in Minneapolis. And we had students that were taking pictures of the skyline in Minneapolis, which to you and me, it's not a big deal, right? And I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, we've never seen this. And it's those different opportunities that they just haven't had, that many of us take for granted. So being able to take kids to Oxbow Park, the Bell Museum, different field trips to different colleges, taking some students down to RCTC last year was awesome. For me, the one that stood out that I really enjoyed the most was probably the St. Paul Saints game. So one I've always wanted to go to, the new CHS field. So I got to check that off myself. But just getting to see kids, like, you know, even if they weren't big baseball fans,
Right.
they finally got to go to a baseball game. And what was cool about this is it wasn't just us, it was actually an educational day. So somehow the Northfield ALC actually ended up being there, and a lot of our students and their students are friends. So it was a quickie day, you know. So, but Toys for Tots, I'd like to do a little shout out to that. Our students do an awesome job of not bringing the toys in, but going there, setting all the toys up, being there for the families, being translators, taking care of children and things like that, and wrapping the presents. So they really do an awesome job of helping support that and sort of being behind the scenes and really helping out in that aspect. So, yeah, that's a little highlight from the ALC for this year. So.
Thank you, Mr. Hager. Well done. Any questions, board members, comments? Director Moore.
Yes, that credit recovery yesterday.
Microphone, please.
Yeah, thank you. You know, the credit recovery, I think the numbers are really, right on there. That's good. I'm really excited to see that. I have visited the ALC a number of times, and it does feel like a family. First time I was there, it was just phenomenal, and every time since. I like the fact that you meet the needs of the students. You said 58%. I guess I didn't realize that sometimes if they fail, they have to take everything over again. That makes sense what you're doing. Start them at the 58% because they've done all the work. And so I really like that idea. And I just congratulate you because I know the teachers, I've been there several times, and you just do great work. Teachers are fantastic. And as I said before, you really are a role model for a district, the ALC. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Director
Mr.
Wolf.
Chair, Mr. Hager, just thank you to you and your staff for all you do for the students, and greatly, greatly appreciate it, so thank you.
Thanks.
Director Steves.
Yeah, echo Ms. Moore and Mr. Wolf's sentiments. So I did a little bit of math here while you were speaking. So just in the last year with your graduates, the average high school graduate earns approximately $350,000 more throughout their lifetime. So just with this year's graduates, they will earn over $11 million more in their lifetime. So economic impacts of a high school diploma are, whether they come from a traditional setting or an ALC setting, are incredibly meaningful. So I really appreciate all of your work and meeting students where they're at.
Well said, Ms. Steves.
Mr. Chair,
Director Woodrow.
thank you, Mr. Hager, for coming and presenting to us, and I hope you're looking forward to your new setting, which, not this fall, but, you know, we're working on that, and I hope it will enhance the programs that you have in place. You'll have more space, you'll have a gym, you'll have a kitchen, which is something really that are basics, and I am just happy that we are moving in that direction. I'm sure you are too. I'm sure our board is as well. And thank you. Thank you for preparing for that.
Thank you.
Got any, Candace?
So I've spent a lot of time at the ALC as a former teacher there. You didn't mention the egg drop.
What? It was on there.
It was on there.
It was on there.
But that's been going on for a long time, and I know that Jackie's instrumental in that. But there's just so many cool things that we've done over the years, and I'm so glad to have you in the driver's seat. Yeah, thanks.
Again, Mr. Hager, thank you and your staff for making a difference for our kids in Faribault and the community as well. So you're greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for the presentation.
Thanks.
Move on to agenda item number 4, 4A, Student Board Representative. Amira, do you have any additional things? Excellent.
Yes, so I have like a preview of the school year. So fall sports kicked off last week, and as the school year starts off, swing clubs will begin. Weightlifting club, D&D club, DECA are just to name a few. For student council, we'll begin our fall campaigns and revolving around homecoming as well as our fall blood drive. There's a lot to look forward to in the school year, especially at the high school. Hopefully section championships and state, as well as fun field trips like Costa Rica and our language department or college tour opportunities. Our elementary schools reorganizing should bring new friendships. It will be exciting to have kindergarten and preschool all under one roof. At the middle school, PGC looks to welcome entering sixth graders and to use their leadership skills to show them what the middle school is all about and the opportunities it gives them. Electives like coding robotics, art, and newly added forensics are just to name a few of the cool classes offered at the middle school. I think we're all looking forward to a great school year, and go Falcons.
Thank you. Excellent report. School board members, items of information? Anyone? I think all of us here are eagerly anticipating the opening of the school year. And Director Moore, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I've talked to a few people in the public, taxpayers and voters, and they had a suggestion. I think we're moving toward that, especially with the superintendent evaluation. That I think we really need to clearly define our terminology that we're using, and I think that's a good idea because just for the students too, we can be a role model for the students. Because, academic writing is really precise and it's unambiguous. And for example, if a student is doing researching for research or a paper, especially research, you have to define your terms. And when you do that, it's a necessity that does lead to, clarity and conciseness. And I think most importantly, it eliminates any confusion, which can lead to a multitude of problems. So I think working on especially with the superintendent evaluation this year, I think we did move more towards a concrete measurable, and I do appreciate that. I think we need to continue to do that.
Anything else, board members? Okay, Superintendent Benty.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I have a few different items here to go over. So this morning we welcomed 35 new teachers to our district as we kicked off New Teacher Week. Additionally, this summer we hired Nate Molitor, who is in the back there, as our new principal at Faribault High School. And we welcomed Kim Goblish, also there with Nate, as our new student language success coordinator. I'm proud to say that we exceeded registration expectations. As of this afternoon, we plan to welcome 315 new students to Faribault Public Schools this fall. That's 108 from Cannon River STEM School and 207 incoming kindergartners, which outdoes our projection and our budgeting. We had budgeted for 190, and as of this afternoon, we had 207. So. I got to attend our community-wide Night to Unite with our infamous Freddie Falcon mascot. It was fun to be out in the community, seeing our students and families. Thank you to the Faribault Police Department for planning our route and letting us tag along with them. We're grateful for our Faribault Chamber of Commerce. They are providing individual treats to each of our staff members during All Staff Welcome Week, which is just one example of the many things that they do for our school district and for our community. So thank you, Chamber of Commerce. We're proud to continue our school supplies for all program for students in preschool through 8th grade. That means that parents do not need to purchase school supplies for their children. Instead, we ask for a one-time fee of $35 per student to help cover the cost of materials. For students in grades 9 through 12, we recommend that they bring a few notebooks, folders, and pencils on the first day. If additional items are needed, teachers will let students know during open house or during the first week of school. And then, Mr. Chair, upcoming next week is Teacher Workshop Week and Welcome Back Week for all staff. And then meet and greets and classes begin after Labor Day this year. So, Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Excellent, Mr. Benty. Thank you. Agenda item number 5, public comment. Our first person to comment publicly here is Carolyn Treadway. And Carolyn's topic is district leadership.
First of all, I want to say I do some subbing at the ALC. It is a delightful place to be, and I'm always encouraged that students who may have met some obstacles in their lives do so well in that environment. So, thanks. I'm here to ask the board to investigate what's behind the departure of 4 administrators this summer. I don't believe it was mere coincidence, and I know that we lost some excellent educational leaders in their departure. A school district that lacks stable leadership doesn't provide the level of quality education that its students require. So I'm asking you again, please look into FPS leadership issues. Our staff, students, and the community deserve that. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, Martha Brown. Her topic is turnover.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Welcome.
I'm going to piggyback on Carolyn's comments. I am very involved in the high school. I'm the Rotary liaison who coordinates the music and art scholarships, $6,000 that we give to kids every single year. I'm a sub-teacher and I accompany the high school choir and the middle school choirs. And I was shocked and dismayed, and I'm actually getting teary at the loss of some of those who left. I was very close with 2 of them. And because of our relationship, I do know why they left. They were the kind of people that were doing exactly what Jake was doing. They were about those relationships. They were about connecting with kids, with staff, with faculty, with parents, with community members. They were trying to move the district forward to be better. And it is no coincidence that they all left. If this were a public corporation, which in a little bit of a way it is, a board, that a business that was losing its innovative, creative, excellent leaders, the way our school district is, that board would call the CEO in and say, what is going on, right? We just saw it happen with Tesla. It happens. I would think that as a board, you would want to know, why did they all leave? And why did they all leave at once? Why is the school board turning a blind eye to this issue? Because this is not normal. People leave their jobs when they can no longer thrive at them. Why are they not thriving? Faribault schools can't continue churning and burning its best people, including teachers. Turnover is expensive. Resignations of good leaders leave staff demoralized and hopeless, which leads to teacher turnover, which again is expensive. None of this is good for any of the kids in our district, especially those who really had relationships with some of these folks, and those relationships were making a difference to them. When things that need to be changed don't change, people choose to work or be educated someplace else. I encourage this board to start conducting exit interviews to uncover what is driving good leaders to leave this district and to address the problems head on. It's getting frustrating and tiring to see positive change, new perspectives, evidence-based practices continually getting shut out and shut down. And our families and children deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. Agenda item number 6, the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of minutes from the July 21st, 2025 and August 4th, 2025 meetings, employment, additional assignments and other, and authorization of payments, transfers, and investment account. Is there a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Director Wolf. Is there a second? Thank you, Director Boudreau. Any discussion? But there's no discussion on consent agenda. Sorry, thank you. No discussion on consent agenda. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Agenda item number 7, District Advisory Committee. There is no report. Agenda item number 8, the Policy Committee. 8A is Policy Committee minutes. Director Steves and Director Moore. Over to you.
So several policies were reviewed and approved to be put forth to the school board for first and second reading. There were 2 policies, I'm just looking up here, policy 425 and 512 were tabled until the next September 2nd policy meeting, in which Mr. Benty is going to get some legal clarification.
Thank you.
Right.
Director Moore, anything else that summarizes it? Very good. Thank you. 8B, approval of revisions to the following policies. These are all revisions, from my understanding from here. So they are, this is actually, Director Mr. Benty, Director Steves, Director Moore, and Ms. Kenny, if I'm wrong, but these are just revisions of date changes, statute changes, et cetera. And through our policy 208 does not require a first and second reading. We can do this, just all of these policies in one swoop. Is that correct? That is correct, right? With that, so and they're on board book here for our review as well. So they are policy 413, harassment and violence, policy 414, mandated reporting of child neglect or physical or sexual abuse, policy 418, drug-free workplace, drug-free school, policy 501, school weapons policy, policy 503 is student attendance, policy 515, protection and privacy of pupil records, policy 516, student medication and telehealth, policy 516.5, overdose medication, policy 524, internet acceptable use and safety policy, policy 534, school meals policy, policy 621, literacy and the READ Act, policy 707, transportation of public school students, policy 709, transportation of public school students, policy 802, disposition of obsolete equipment and material, and policy 806, crisis management policy. Is there a motion to approve those policies?
So moved.
Thank you, Director Steves. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Knudsen. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Director Moore.
We are just approving the revisions.
That's correct.
From what I asked. Okay.
That is correct. Further discussion? Discussion, hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Agenda item number 9, other committees, Finance Committee. So I will report on the Finance Committee meeting from July 14th, 2025. Most of these items we are approved at the July business meeting, but first of all, in that meeting, we approved the fiscal year 26 MOU and LEA agreements with Faribault Public Schools and Elysian Head Start Center. Our financial performance in the June student count, we had nothing to report. There weren't any changes between May or June. And as we just heard today from Mr. Benty, we estimate about roughly 3,000 students will be reported for fiscal year 25, and we're expecting an increase, which we are, in fiscal year 26. Our June investment financial report, we're sitting in a really good spot for investments. We're working with PFM on our investments to ladder and diversify. We're getting some very good rates. Our June comparative financial report, in June of 2024, we had credits, so we're not seeing any bill for HVAC. In 2024, utilities on the whole are under budget. Our self-insurance revenues are less than expenditures for June, and our deficit expenditure was only $48,500 for the year compared to what it was looking like earlier in the year. Their rates will also be increasing by 15% for fiscal year 26. Our June analytics, our fund summary, expenses exceed revenues by about $6 million, but will change as we go through the audit due to booking receivables and additional invoices coming in fiscal year 25 expenses. The bulk of that deficit is coming from the construction fund, which has $4.7 million in expenditures and only $280,000 in revenue. Our multi-year guideline, our expenses for the general fund is coming in at about $58.7 million, which is less than where we had anticipated. But again, that number will change as we make year-end closing entries. Lastly, our financial strategies, we approved the 10-year long-term facilities and maintenance plan. We have to do that by July 31st of each year. The LTFM plan to the school board, which we did approve, and then it's sent on, I believe, to MDE with that. And then our regular revenue is based on student count and building age, and in fiscal year 25, we're expecting $1.3 million in revenue and $1.27 in expenses. That will leave $43,000 in fund balance in Fund 1 going into fiscal year 26. So that pretty much sums up our meeting, unless Directors Wolf or Boudreau have anything to add from that. Nothing? Okay.
Mr. Chair, what about Tuesday's meeting?
Well, on the board book, we go back, we're a month, so I do have Tuesday's meeting with me, but.
Well, I only mention that, Mr. Chair, because we're voting on some of the things, but I guess we'll review them as they come.
I can go over to Tuesday's meeting if you'd like. They're minutes that are not approved.
It's okay.
But practice has been we do the approved ones when we go through committee. So I think we'll leave it at that. Other matters? Go to gifts and donations here. We have resolution 26.02. The donations, resolution 26-02 approving acceptance of the following gifts and donations: $7,084.17 for the Faribault High School Golf Center from multiple donors and fundraising from the recent Faribault Booster Club Golf Tournament. Is there a motion for approval of resolution 26-02?
So moved.
Thank you, Director Moore. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Director Knudsen. Discussion?
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to clarify one thing, and this very well could be my fault. The Faribault Booster Club did not host a golf tournament. The golf teams, the boys and girls coaches led a golf tournament, and those donations flowed through the Faribault Booster Club. So I just want to make that clear.
Okay.
And just a big thank you to all those people that played in the tournament and gave donations to the new high school golf center.
Excellent. We'll note that in the minutes. Thank you. Again, yes, thank you for that event, and once again, the golf center. A lot of contributions coming in. It's going to be a great thing for our kids. So, yes. Any other discussion?
Yes, I agree with you. That was $7,000.
$7,084.17.
So, yeah, that was, I think that's really a good deal with our golf and our sports. So, thank you to all of those who contributed.
Okay, Director Steves, this is a roll call, please.
Linda Boudreau.
Aye.
Candace Knudsen.
Aye.
Linda Moore.
Aye.
Cassie Steves. Aye. Chad Wolf.
Aye.
John Bellingham.
Aye.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. 10B, consider approval of the new athletic and activities graphics. Is there a motion for approval of the new athletic and activity graphics?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Director Steves for the motion, Director Boudreau for the second, and discussion. Mr. Benti or someone, can I turn it over to you?
Yeah, so actually the information around this is on page 2 of the document. It talks about, once again, it's athletic and activities graphics only. So the Falcons logo that you see behind us and the one that is similar to that says Faribault, and it will remain our official district-wide logos. These are the updated pieces that we're looking for our, like I said, athletics and activities. So I guess, with the information there that's on page 2, does anybody have any questions?
Superintendent Benty, and I see Activities Director Gunderson is here, so thank you.
I'm sorry.
Just to confirm that, obviously, some of these, if you will, the head shots, if you will, they look a lot like our mascot, Freddie. But all the other birds are indeed falcons, not eagles or not hawks or something like that. I know other schools have done that before. I just want to confirm that whatever, these are all falcons, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
I worked with Brendan Cox, and he came up with the majority of this stuff. And we did make sure, because we did have one, if you go back to the green one, there was a white head on it, and it looked too much like a bald eagle, so we had to mess around with that piece. So, but yeah, we wanted to make sure that it was a falcon. So.
Thank you.
Mr. Gunderson, my apologies. I did not see you sitting there.
I came in late.
Would have called you up first. So. Any further discussion or questions? Thanks for putting this together. I think it gives everybody a common graphics here to work with, and I think it'd be good. So, yes.
Mr. Chair, I do have one last question, and maybe it's in here, and if it is, I apologize. Is there a common Pantone or PMS color that, or is it, there used to be confusion over Kelly green or forest green or whatever?
There is a code. It's not in here, but I can certainly get that. It's
okay.
Whatever that number is.
Yeah.
There's a number and then a name to it.
Okay. But I won't be ordering it, but just for consistency
right,
purposes,
yes.
right? I mean,
yep.
Thank you.
Director Moore.
Yeah, I just have a question. We had Freddie Falcon when I was in school, and that's back in the dinosaur age. Do you know how long have we had this? I think it's almost been forever, has it, since the Faribault Public Schools?
As far as like the
yeah,
Freddie
do you know?
Falcon?
I'm just curious. Yeah, the Falcon, Freddie Falcon.
Probably
I
forever.
I want to
know
say it's
that
like the
Well, yeah, I mean,
1940s or
the
something.
Falcons have not always been our mascot.
That's correct. I think it was the 1940s.
Yes, I think it was the 1940s that Faribault
I was
changed to
graduating
the
in
Falcons.
60s,
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Any further discussion? Motion to approve. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Gunderson.
Thank you.
Very much. 10C, approval of the fiscal year 25-26 school resource officer. Ms. Raisler, if you'd like to come up, please, call you up right away. Is there a motion for approval of the fiscal year 25-26 school resource officer?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Director Boudreau, for the motion, second by Director Wolf. Before presentation or questions from Ms. Raisler, just want board members to know that this agenda item was approved by the Finance Committee on Tuesday.
So the contract that you're seeing in front of you is just a one-year contract. It is an increase from what we saw in prior year. It increased about 18%. So just to make you all aware of that, and that was something that was known to us. But it does pay for the school resource officers that we have in our schools, and are thankful for those folks for being part of our district family.
Questions or discussion?
Mr. Chair, I think I made this comment at the finance meeting when we approved this, but, you know, it's just interesting how times change, and I'm getting old quickly. But when I graduated in 1996, and, you know, obviously the years before that when I was in the middle school and high school, we never had resource officers. I don't know that anybody hardly did. And so times change, things change. I think this is a great thing for hopefully relationship building in our community, and also just an added layer of hopefully safety with our students and families and things of that nature. But I don't know if I want to say fortunately or unfortunately, I can't imagine going forward without it. And so it's just the added cost that the district shares with the police department. But I think it really is great, hopefully, for our students to build that trust and relationship with our local police department and what goes on there. So anyway, thank you, and I appreciate the district working with the local police department and all that they do together. So
Thank you, Director Wolf.
Mr. Chairman,
Director Boudreau.
I don't know if it was mentioned, but the cost is split between the city
Yes,
police department and our school district.
that is correct. Yes,
50/50 cost share. Thank you
thank you.
for the record.
Good point. Any further discussion? Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. 10D, consider approval of the 2025-2026 superintendent goals. Is there a motion for approval of the 2025-2026 superintendent goals? Also move. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Director Wolf. And discussion. Board members, you see, I believe there's a hard copy in your packet. There's just mine. Okay, thank you. On board book, okay. And with the changes that were made from our last meeting, so in fact, some changes were just made this morning after a couple emails, et cetera, and checking back over our notes once again. So anything, board members or super?
Mr. Chair, yeah, a couple questions for you, if that's okay, between yourself and Superintendent Venti, just so
Certainly.
I'm on the same page. How many exact things are we measuring? So I see, you know, goal 1, 2, 3 goals, but then within those, there's several things. So do we have 3 goals, and then how does that work within the many different bullet points within, you know, there's, I look at goal 3 and there's 4 action steps in there. So I just want to make sure that I'm understanding, so that when we, you know, fast forward to January, I can give hopefully valuable input or feedback or ask questions at the mid-year review, and then also obviously fast forward, you know, roughly 10 months or so when we do an annual, 11 months when we do an annual review. But can you just help me out with that? And I apologize, I was gone the last meeting where there was some discussion, so I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Excellent. It's a good point. I should have brought that up before. So what we have, and I'm just going to go to goal 1. You mentioned goal 3.
Sure.
But for the public's knowledge and board members to review, remember we created action steps. And then first of all, there are only 3 goals. And goal 1 is elevate student achievement. There are 3 action steps. And then what does success look like? And so those are 3 bullet points there on what success looks like. So in January, when we have the mid-year eval, or in the end of the year, my opinion and what I've discussed with Mr. Benty is you take each one of those 3 points, and since it's on a 1 to 4 point scale, you take and say, okay, so the first bullet point, observable student growth in literacy and math. I'm just going to cut it off there. Whether there's more there, you would rate that one. My opinion is what I'm going to do. Rate that 1 through 4. You go to the second bullet point, sustained pre-K and kindergarten enrollment and increased new partnerships. I would rate that 1 through 4. The same thing with the third bullet. I then would take, then say it was 3-3-3, that's pretty easy average, right? Or 3-4-2, or et cetera, average them out, you might get a 2.75, might get a 3.4, whatever. That's how I see each one of those, so when you report for goal one, you would have those 3 bullet points explained. That's how I see it. Director Boudreau, I think that's what we talked about it many times, et cetera, like that, and go from there. So that's.
So Mr. Chair, when we look at what success looks like in the document in front of us, the 3rd bullet point under goal 1, higher rates of 6th and 9th grade credit completion, CTE pathway, on and on. We will, at some point, see what the end of the 2024, 2025 information is, so we have a baseline or a starting point. And then, as we go through the year, so if that starting point is, let's just call it X, whatever that is.
Right.
Then in January or, fast forward 11 months or whatever, then we'll have Y and we'll be able to compare.
Yeah, so I think to keep it as close to apples as possible, we would look at where we started this school year versus where we started last school year, and where we end this coming school year versus where we ended this past school year.
Perfect. Okay. Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to make sure that I'm.
And that's on each of the 3 goals, how to measure each one of those. That's
Okay.
That's how I came up with it. Director Moore, do you have something?
I always do, right? I think at the last work session, I think we all worked together quite well. I think it was a lot of give and take there. I appreciated that. Regarding increased student achievement compared to last year's goals, I think we made some great improvements going from the abstract, unquantifiable goals to concrete, measurable goals. For instance, we're going into with the FastBridge scores and the ACT scores. As far as the tech integration, I do think we still need some work a little bit on the measurable outcomes. However, I do like the fact that we added age-appropriate instructional technology. So we do know that too much screen time can be detrimental to students, so I'm glad we put that in there. Develop policies regarding the ethical use of AI. I think that was really important. I like that phrase, ethical use of AI, because, I believe AI is already in our classrooms, so we need to put forth, I think, some ethical policies regarding that we'll have to work on. I have to say, I don't like Musk's idea that we can integrate machine with man, and because that is antithetical to my beliefs and morals, but that's beside the point right now. As far as communication and community partnerships, I like the fact that Mr. Benty will ensure, and I'm quoting, transparency with families and stakeholders. I think that's really important. Timely updates, engage parents in decision-making. I really like that aspect of it. And also document building and staff visits. And this is a measurable, quantifiable goal. I think it's very important that we have not only parental feedback, but the staff feedback. And I think, Ms. Bedreau, you were talking about that last time. That staff feedback is really essential, and it needs to be documented. Finally, I guess my one concern is, but I think we did a great job in working together, that it is based, for goal number 1, it is based on the science of reading in the Minnesota State Standards. And a lot of these standards are, for me, they're chock full of, they call it DEI, or DIE, diversity, equity, inclusion. Now they've changed it to EDI, and sometimes when you get a hot topic, they'll change the terminology or they'll change the definition. So I know this is going to pass, and I think we did a good job, but I'm going to go on record that these achievement standards have a basis on racial and gender principles. And that goes against my belief and values, and it also may be a violation of civil rights. So I know this is going to pass, but from the principle, I'm going to have to vote against because of that. So, but I think, all in all, we did a good job.
Any further discussion? Director
Mr.
Boudreau?
Chair, I would just like to ask Superintendent Benty if these are doable goals. I find them very lengthy, and I'm just concerned, this is my personal view, that maybe more than we need to impose.
The older I get, the more I believe all things are possible. And the reason I say that is because, and I'll go on a little bit of a tangent with the chair's permission here.
Oh, well.
Is that, I've been in this district now for 13 years, and we have stared down the barrel of declining enrollment and cutting for 13 years. 12 of the 13 years, excuse me. There was 1 year we didn't. And it was just kind of has been the understanding that Faribault reduces its budget every year because Faribault loses students every year. And in the last 6 weeks, we have taken that narrative and we have spun it around. We are up in enrollment. We are one of the only districts in the state that is not reducing our budget. And we are doing the right things, for our students. I believe that our achievement on our tests will prove that in the coming years. So do I think it's too much? I don't. As somebody that has to perform to this, I don't believe it is too much. And I do believe it is doable because we have done in the last 6 weeks what most people thought Faribault would never be able to do. And we are going to continue to build off of that, and I think this is an excellent way to start that. So,
Mr. Chairman, to that response, I just wanted to make sure, understand that I don't think you're incapable. I think you're very capable and very competent, but I just had concerns with the amount of paperwork this requires. But if you are fine with it, I am fine with it.
Mr. Chair.
Director Moore?
Yes, actually, Ms. Bedro brought up a good point. And I think what you said last time, too, you're doing all of these anyway, right? So you're really not adding on into anything. I think the last time we met at the work session, you said, I'm doing all this stuff anyway, something like that. Is that true? Because it's really not adding on so much, it's just so. And so therefore it is doable.
yeah, these are the pieces that we believe will propel our district forward. So this would be the work that I would be doing. Honestly, whether the board chose these as my goals or not.
Personally, I'd like to thank Directors Boudreau and Robichaud for their work as part of the Superintendent Evaluation Committee, and Mr. Benty for his work and input in our dialogue in between for these goals. So I think they're very suitable, and I think it was a good process, although a little lengthy and a little cumbersome at times, but that's what makes good stuff, I think. So anyway, so with that, we'll vote. All in favor of the motion to approve the 2025-2026 superintendent goals signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Motion passes 5-1. Agenda item 10E, second reading of the new mission statement. The new mission statement as proposed is as follows. Faribault Public Schools partners with families and the community to educate, elevate, and empower every student to achieve their full potential, every Falcon, every day. Is there a motion for approval of the new mission statement?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. I would like to start the discussion, please. Here, the board in this new mission statement has had 3 retreat sessions to work on not only the mission statement, but the visions as well. A week or so ago, Director Moore informed me that Policy 104 states that the board should adopt a mission statement. The mission statement should be based on the beliefs and values of the community and review the mission every 2 years with a comprehensive review every 5 to 7 years. I'm paraphrasing that policy. The policy also says to have extensive participation by the community. So to have this participation by the community, I suggest directing Superintendent Benty to put a link to a Google form to receive community input about the current mission statement and proposed mission statement. This link should also be sent to parents of our students and staff as well. With that information, I now move to table this item until the October 27th, 2025 board business meeting for action in order for staff to complete the above directives. Is there a motion to my, or is there a second for to my motion for tabling?
Second.
We have a second. The tabling is not debatable, nor is it amendable. So we will simply vote.
Okay, point of order, point, question.
It's not debatable, it's not amendable. I'll clarify a question for you if you need to.
My question is, if the statement is put online for others to read, that we also put the process that was involved with this, that this was after, that has been already presented at our board meeting, and it was the culmination of a discussion at a retreat, and it was something that was a compromised. I think we should have a little more info than just here it is. It's been debated, it was discussed thoroughly, not everybody agreed with it. It will replace this statement here on our wall.
Okay, we're getting to the discussion point now. So
I think information about
let's take, and if we table it, if it moves to table, then I will work with Mr. Benty on what you have suggested and other board members suggest that we put out in our description of the vision statements and go over there. But right now, we have a motion to table.
Mr. Chair, can I ask one question?
One, yes.
Regarding the dates, you mentioned tabled until our business meeting in October. Will we see any results from the survey at a work session or anything in between, or we should anticipate just taking action 2 months from now?
We will have information by the October, I don't know, was it 4th or whatever, work session. We'll have information beforehand, and then the action. That's why I specified action on this, but yes, we will receive information. That way it's out there a month. Go from there.
Thank you.
Okay.
So our work session, just for clarity, sorry, October 6th, and then the business meeting is the 27th.
All I wanted to do is table it till October 27th, and we can bring it back for
Okay.
discussion on the 6th. Okay? All in favor of the motion to table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it is tabled. Thank you. With that, then we'll move on our dates to remember. September 2nd, 2025, 3:45 is the policy committee. September 8th, 5:30 is our work session. September 11th, 7:45 I think it should be, is it PM or AM? Facilities Committee.
AM.
AM, says PM here. September 15th, 7:30 AM is Finance Committee. September 22nd is our regular business meeting. And next Tuesday, August 26th, is the all-staff welcome greet at the high school, and all board members, you are invited to attend if you so wish. And we go from there, so that's all the dates to remember. And then agenda item number 12, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passed. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.